Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Pause and Ponder. This is Brian Faria, lead pastor here today. I want you to focus with me on Numbers chapter 23, verse 11. It says this, Then Balak said to Balaam, What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, but behold, you have actually blessed them. I'm struck at this verse today because Balak is going to insist on getting his will, insist on getting his plan. The context of this story is that the Israelites are finally coming into the land of promise, out of Egypt, out of the wilderness, and they are conquering nations. Balak, the king of the Moabites, looks around, makes an assumption, and he thinks that his people are going to be swallowed up in this conquest. So he decides to launch a curse onto the Israelites. If I could cripple them spiritually, maybe we could defeat them militarily. And so, with this scenario, he insists, hires a prophet, and asks this prophet, call down a curse upon this people. When the time comes for the curse to be called down, Balaam, who God had already decided to use to bless the Israelites with a prophecy, Balaam does not deliver. He calls down a blessing rather than a curse. Balak doesn't like that, so he thinks, let's go over here, let's go over there, and let's try again, let's try again. He keeps on insisting, and the results are always the same. Balaam always blesses God's people. Why? Because God had made it already a decision that was what he was going to do. He put parameters in place, so that would be the only thing Balaam did. What I want us to think about, though, is, are there things in our lives that we are constantly insisting on? I want it this way, at this moment, at this time, my way, the highway, this is what I need to do, and I will shift myself around, I'll move things around so that I can have it be fulfilled in my life and have it my way. Well, when it comes to God's plan, when it comes to what is truth, when it comes to what God has determined to be right and good and perfect within his will, it doesn't matter what our scenery is. It doesn't matter where we move, where we go. It doesn't matter what we change. What God has determined to be true and right is what we will experience. And so here's the deal. Is there something right now that you're fighting against, that you want some other way, that maybe God's already given you an answer, but you're not satisfied with that answer? I would just ask you, would you have the courage to cry out to God, to seek him and say, Lord, what is your will in this? And realize that his word says in Romans 8 that he works out all things for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. God's got a plan for you. That plan may not line up to what you want at this moment, but it will be for your good. And it doesn't matter how far you run, how far you shift, he still will fulfill his plan in your life. May God bless you, strengthen you, and guide you today. Amen.